G'day YouTube. In this video I'm going to show you how to correctly mask up doors in an internal domestic home. Generally this would be furnished or unfurnished, doesn't really matter. Obviously unfurnished is a lot better. Unfurnished where the carpets are being replaced is better again, and you don't have to do much masking up at all. This is a 3M hand masker. This is the one I suggest you buy. There's another masker that doesn't have the ability to put 2 bits of tape on it. Don't get that one, get this one, or get 2 of these, handy to have. The masking roll I'm going to be using is it's the half thickness stuff. There's one that's also double thickness. That's about the masking you have to do with the tip and gun setup and filter setup I'm going to tell you in this video. So if you want to be extra careful, you can throw a drop sheet down there as well. But that around that door there, the space I've given is, once you've done it a few times, that's the amount of masking you need on the doorway. As far as taping up the door furniture, or the hinges and door handles, which is what's called door furniture, is a technical term for it, you can either pull the doors off or you can tape them up. Now, depending on the hinges and the doors, you might want to tape them up. For starters, taping these hinges, there's 2 ways to do it. You can actually just slap the tape on and just a little bit past the hinge and spray it, and then touch up a bit with the brush at the end. That's one way of doing it. The way I've started doing it is taping it up like that and then cutting around the hinge with a Stanley knife to get your taping up perfect, and then just leaving it there, taping it back and front the same way. I'm just showing you this shot. That's about the width of the. You can actually get away with half. You can actually do it if you've got a new tip and a decent new filter and everything. The right tip, you can actually do it with 1 run of that. To be safe, use 2. If you move away from the door as you're spraying it a bit, you might get a bit of a drift overspray that goes up there and lands on the carpet and end up with a slight mark on the carpet, which can be cleaned off. There's guys that do that. It's not really a huge deal. Customer saw you do it, it would be a huge deal, but it can be fixed. It's not a big deal. Use 2 like that, or just 1 lot of thick stuff. With door handles like this, these handles are easy enough to get off, but I've just taped them to show you what you'd be doing if you did tape them. The reason you would tape up door handles is if you come across a job which has got some expensive door handles or something you haven't seen before and you don't quite know how it comes apart, or if it's an old door handle and it's got rusty screws and things like that, you risk, if you pull it apart, you risk snapping screws and not being able to buy replacement screws, just causing you a whole lot of headaches. So if you see door handles that are a bit funny looking, tape them up, don't bother pulling them off, don't bother pulling the doors off, just do it that way, it's just the safest. This is how you tape up a long carpet if you're going to be spraying skirting. You can see there's a little tiny gap, you can actually see the carpet. Now if you were to spray straight down on that, you might, and I say only might, get some paint on that carpet. Because of the way the tape and the airless spray machine works, you're probably not going to. Now you can leave a little gap there. The best way to do it, where you can absolutely guarantee you won't get anything on the carpet, is if you spray more or less straight towards that skirting, which is the way you should be spraying anyway. I'll just lower it here so you can see. So if you imagine you're a spray gun and you're spraying towards that skirting, nothing is getting on that carpet. That's a bit of a trade secret as well. You don't have to mask it up absolutely perfectly. You've got about 1 millimetre to play with, 1.5 millimetres maybe, along skirting on carpet. Another thing, if the carpet's coming up, if they're replacing the carpet, you don't have to do any of this masking. You just maybe vacuum out here, just clean the skirting and spray the skirting onto the carpet. If the carpet's thick, if there's thick carpet and they're putting thinner carpet down, you're going to see that when they pull it up. So ask them about the carpet that's going down as much the same thickness, then it won't be a problem. Otherwise you'll be coming back to touch up after they've replaced the carpet. This is the 3M hand masker that you can buy at most paint shops, so you can get this internationally. What that does is you put your tape onto the roll and you peel it out and you just rip it off. It's a real fast way of doing it. I think panel beaters use this as well. The top one is so that when you do a run of tape and you need to stick it down, you put your paper down with the tape on it, and then you rip off a little bit and put one at each end, and that holds it in place, and then you just keep doing that all around the house. As far as tip setup for doors, a couple of my videos I've used a 210. That's probably a bit thin. I'd either say a 310 or a 410. Sometimes if I've lost a tip or broken it or whatever, I'll just use whatever I've got. I can do that because I've done it a lot of times. The best tip for doors is going to be a 310 or a 410 probably, and the more you use the tip, it's going to wear out, the more overspray you can get. So ideally a new tip will get no overspray. As it wears out, replace the tip, or you're going to have to mask up more to compensate for your worn tip. Maybe hold the gun a little bit further away. Here you can see this is how you spray the door. You're doing a 50% overlap on every spray. This is a unit that the carpet was going, so I was able to just spray down all the carpet. A lot of guys are probably, a lot of painters, professional painters, will use an extension coil for this to save bending. I actually prefer to be right in control of the gun when doing something like this. Even with cornices, I won't get a spray tip extension out unless I'm doing, say, a roof or a high ceiling and I'm doing the cornices there, I'll use it then. But generally for doors and fine finish work, I won't use an extension tip because I want to be in full control of the gun. As far as spraying doors and trim in a house, it's debatable whether you spray or brush. Generally, if it's sort of over 6 doors, I'll spray, otherwise I brush. If the doors there have been sprayed and they've got a very good finish on them, anyway, I'm going to spray even if it's a couple of doors, because my finish has to look better than the last guys, or there's no point in these people getting me out. So this is a picture of a house we did where I walked into the job, and the doors in this place were in such good condition. They look like they've been sprayed in a factory. There's no other way you could have done this. If you'd have come in and even enamel by hand and tipped it off, the customer would have complained it had to be sprayed. We used acrylic gloss. A lot of older painters out there will say, oh, enamel. You can't use enamel today. I mean, you can, but as you can see here, the light coming, a lot of big windows in this place. That enamel will yellow pretty quick. That's a problem with enamel. Acrylic gloss, when you know how to spray it and use it properly, comes up just as good as enamel, and it doesn't fade. Not quite as hard of wearing, but it's easier to touch up. It's just easier to use. I don't know why people use enamel. I still don't to this day. Doing a bit of work for another painter lately, and he uses enamel still. He's a young guy like me as well, and I've talked to him. We both have a few different opinions, but I personally acrylic gloss, undercoat, everything acrylic.